With our YouTube channel and our photography hobby, we have just way too much camera equipment and it's always unorganized, and for that reason I'm going to try to use my Bob's CNC machine to turn these shelves into a much more organized space where everything has a location and a home so that we put it back where it belongs. We're here from HomesteadHow. In today's quick video, I've been having a lot of fun with my Bob's CNC machine and I'm so unorganized, so I'm going to use my CNC machine to get more organized. That's all my camera equipment for YouTube and for Amazon videos that we do, and there's batteries and there's chargers and it's just a big mess. I'm going to add on this separate shelf and I'm going to dedicate it to just battery storage, but I'm going to do it in a clever way with the CNC machine, hopefully, if this works. Quick disclaimer, the name of the channel is HomesteadHow. Learn with us. You're going to be learning with me here. I am not a CNC professional. I'm a rookie. I've only had this thing for a month or so and I'm still learning. I recently made this sign and I made another sign under here I'm about to show you, but I have a long way to go, so please leave a comment down below if there's a better way to do things and we can learn together. So my shelf is already measured to the correct width. I'm just going to lay out all of the batteries in the most ideal location that I would like them to live permanently. And this is what I came up with, paying special attention to where each of the cords are going to be positioned as well. Next, I'm going to take a marker and trace the bottom of each object. The bottom is not the same as the top, that's why I'm tracing them, plus they cast a shadow. I'm going to be taking an overhead picture next, and that picture I'm going to be putting into VCarve. I could just take a picture of the objects, but they cast a shadow and that's not as accurate as tracing like I am here. So with the batteries traced, now it's time to move on to the other shelf, and this is going to be my dedicated camera shelf with a spot for each and every camera and some of the tripods and my drone. Now I'm in VCarve and I'm going to put in my dimensions from the shelf that I just measured. So my initial plan was to import this as a bitmap into VCarve and then trace that and just have the program do it, but it was too touchy and there's probably a better way to do it. I am a rookie, so please leave a comment down below if there's a better way. So what I did instead was I brought the bitmap into VCarve and then I simply drew a shape, mostly rectangles in this picture, all around each of these, and it only took me a couple of minutes to do that. I did the same for the camera shelf as well. So then I saved my G-code for the battery shelf and for the camera shelf, and I headed on out to the CNC machine to fire it up. Of course, this isn't 100% accurate. You could do this a lot more accurate if you needed it. I don't need it to be 100% accurate because it's just holding my batteries. I actually wanted it to be slightly larger. As you'll notice, the router isn't cutting out within the lines like you'd think it would. That's due to two reasons. One, I redrew all of the shape over the lines, so they weren't exactly where those lines were. And two, I was off by an inch when I zeroed out the machine, so that was a mistake on my part. However, it all worked out perfectly and I was a little bit better on the battery shelf that I'm doing here on the screen now. And everything ended up fitting just right. So for a really quick method, this worked out well. Each position was slightly larger like I expected it to be. You're not going to be very accurate using a camera like this. There may be a better way to do it. Everything turned out really good though, exactly how I wanted it. One thing I would do differently is router a space for each of these cords. I don't know why I didn't think of that, so I'm probably going to be doing that as a phase 2 on this. Please leave some comments down below. I'm sure there's a lot better way to do this. Like I mentioned, initially I was just going to take the bitmap into VCarve and then have VCarve do all of the work instead of me drawing the shapes over each. I still think that's a possibility. I've got to do some more learning on my part to figure out how to get that to work. This little carve out I made for this little tripod came out perfectly, fits in there nice and snug. So overall this was quite a transformation from old to new. I'm going to router out those wires, but otherwise this was a really fun project Thanks a lot for watching. Please leave a comment down below if you enjoyed this video or have any questions at all.